Pardon me. Alright, looks like we're good. I see movement. Let's go to the screen and show people that I'm alive. That just opening video is just so catchy. How many people we got in the chat here? It's time to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bar and Farm and Forge. Still not used to that, even though I'm the one that came up with it. Anyways, welcome back. You're stuck with me tonight. I'll say hi to the people that are in here and hi to the people who haven't showed up yet. Looks like we got Bobby Lonis, got Eric, Jeff Woodring, Roger Caldwell, Daniel Baca, other Eric, Jeff Killian, Steve and Uncle Bucks, and Kyle Jones. Hello, hello, hello. John Brittinghammer. Hello, hello. Reagan Coffee. Never heard of her. I'm just playing. How's everybody doing? I had a little bit of a sniffle right before we started, so I was like, that's not good. Right before the show. I think it's just getting acclimated to the dust in the shop again. I haven't really been in the shop much lately. I haven't done a lot of forging lately, so getting back at it and trying to get some stuff done. I was working from home today, work from home tomorrow, while Dad and Michelle are off on vacation, gallivanting, doing vacation things. I believe they're up with Mr. Brian at the Vineyard Farmhouse up in New York. So who knows if they pop in or not. If they do, he'll probably come in and steal the show like he always does. But that's fine. Anyways, he said, dang, turned around and got for a minute and got it, and it got crowded. I can't talk. That's all right. We'll just stick away from talking tonight and stick to forging. So anywho, I'm just like, I know this is, you know, a little on the nose. I'm just tinkering around today. I got a split cross blank. Make one of those. And then probably make a little S-hook. And then I got this. It's already split. So probably do like a roasting fork or something. Just like I said, tinkering around here. Not doing a whole lot of anything. So, I'll get my fire rolling so I don't have smoke out the place like Dad did last week. Come on now. Fire up. So anywho, Kyle asked if the knee is doing well. It's doing well. It's just slow recovery, man. It is slow recovery. So this is 4.5 months out. So I'm at least walking around. I still can't use it to like kind of go up steps. I still have to kind of one step it. Anytime I'm using, you know, stairs. So that's not too fun. Going upstairs, or sorry, going downstairs. Going upstairs, I can take 1 or 2 steps just to kind of like, you know, work through it, kind of help work it out a little bit. Still going to PT, doing PT back down to just once every 2 weeks. And that's just because I'm like, I can work out in the gym at work. So they feel comfortable with letting me just kind of, you know, do my own thing. And then PT once every 2 weeks just to kind of check up on me, make sure I'm not losing progress or anything like that. So it's getting around, it's getting there. I haven't been in the brace for a long time, so that's good, which is a plus. But yeah, for the most part, it's just right now working to get strength back in it. I think the thing I hate about it the most is every morning I wake up and it's tight. So just got to work it throughout the day, and by the end of the day, it's loosened up, and then next day you start all over again. So he said polishing eyeballs. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Cataract surgery. Yeah, Ollie. Woohoo. But yeah, other than that, life is good. Can't complain. Cannot complain. I'm trying to think of anything else going on and around the bend. We got Quad State coming up. A month? So hopefully to see everybody, if not most everybody in here, at Quad State in September up in Troy, Ohio. And then after that, got about a month, and then we do our big show to start kind of kick off the season over in Metamora, Indiana at Canal Days. And then week after that, it'll be me again just me at the Mayberry West Fall Festival. Fun time, kind of an old timey little festival. They bring in chuck wagons and live music. Last year was John Wayne's grandson was there. Live reenactments of Old West shootouts. They got an old steam tractor. It was really cool. It's been in the family ever since it was bought brand new. So they drove it like 3 miles down from the dealership, and it's not left the farm or that area since. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so we got those two festivals coming up the first couple weeks of October. And then after that, we'll have a couple festivals, shows, demos at our friends over at Sons of Toil, the brewery down the road. And then probably a Christmas show, craft show in Greenfield, Ohio, and then the Village Christmas in Lynchburg, Ohio around Christmas time. So it's slowly approaching to be demo show and festival season. So just gotta kind of hunker down and start working on getting product out. I think that's going to be my goal. Probably Saturday is some other things need to be done around the farm, and then try to bang out some product. So this year's gonna be kind of cool. I've got some plasma designs, stuff with plasma table, some signs and stuff. Just some real simple stuff. I'm sure y'all saw it on our Instagram with the Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana home signs. So just made a couple of those each for each state. I'm sure they'll sell well between the tri-state area. Haven't really broken into selling in Kentucky yet, but we get a lot of people from northern Kentucky, central Kentucky that come into Indiana and come into the Cincinnati area. So the tri-state area, try to serve all in the tri-state area. So that's cool. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know of anything else going on in the shop. So everybody's doing good. Looks like the chat's going off, so I'm going to go ahead and toss a piece in the fire, and we'll get to what you all came here for, which I believe is forging. If it's not, you're in the wrong channel. So stick our split cross blank in here, and we'll get started. I'll get my coal cooked up. That's nice. Don't want to lose it down in the fire. Yeah, like I said, just kind of tinkering around on stuff. Just trying to get my hammer swinging back in business. We did the OVAM last weekend, 2 weekends ago. Either way, did that over the past week, and swung the hammer a little bit, just out of shape. Got to get that hammer swinging back in shape. So just work on that tonight and try to get back up, because shows and demos are coming. What about West Virginia? I feel left out. I have to make a West Virginia too, because there's a certain somebody in here that commented right after you, Roger, that needs one for her grandparents that live in West Virginia. So I'll have a West Virginia one made up as well. Can't forget about them. But when I talk tri-state, I talk, the Cincinnati area. We kind of cover south part of Indiana, northern part of Kentucky, and then the southern part of Ohio. That right there, kind of on the Ohio River. So that's mainly where we kind of get shows and demos and everything. So no, it's not candle making. Came for my friendly banter. Thank you, Bobby. That down in the forge there. Don't want to lose it. Got a good roaring fire. I don't want it to cave in and I lose my piece. I ain't gonna lie. I had a little bit of fat wood from our good friend Ben Strickland and some charcoal going to start the fire. And the whole shop just kind of got this nice like wood smell, charcoal wood smell. And I was like, dang, I almost don't want to make a fire now. Just let that kind of cook and make the shop smell good. So anywho, yep, I know, that's what I said. I haven't really been much in the forge ever since my knee injury, so just got to get back into it. I know I'm so out of shape. we went this past, oh, that's why, OVAM was 2 weeks ago. This past weekend, I was celebrating a friend of mine from church. Him and his fiance, we had a big weekend. We got a cabin and everything like that. And we just hung out. We went out on a pontoon on the lake down in Lake Cumberland in Kentucky. And we got out to swim for a second. I started swimming around. One, I can't really swim great because of my leg. And then two, I was just like, man, I am out of shape. I haven't swam in forever. So at some point this weekend, we got a new pool. And I'm going to go take a dip or two in the pool. Start just trying to get some exercise back and get myself back in better shape. It's crazy. Sitting down for about a month and a half, 2 months, doing almost nothing will really wreck you. Still feeling the after effects of that. And I'm sure it only gets better with time and worse with age, I would imagine. I know you all probably can attest to that. I can swim like a rock. Welcome back, Jeff. Throw a steak on that bad boy. I actually had steak for lunch. Sure did. I had a good little juicy ribeye. Been doing the carnivore diet. So basically been eating nothing but eggs, meat, and cheese. It's helped. I've lost a good little chunk of weight. Feel better. Just kind of losing some of the fat. Does nice. Yeah, that diet. Yeah, that diet is nice because you start off the morning with about 3 to 5 eggs, 3 or 4 pieces of bacon, and then lunch I've either done like simple as just ground beef and some no sugar barbecue sauce, or some type of sauce that fits on the diet, or I did ground deer and ground pork, mix those together, the fat from the pork and then the ground deer, so that was nice. Steak, just toss a steak and have that for lunch or dinner. Pork chops. I did slow roasted chicken thighs this week. I did it in kind of like a Hungarian dish with paprika. That was really good. I think there's anything else that I've done. I like it. All right. If I can get a hold of it. I want to split our split cross open here and get it to go. Oop, drop forge. Been a minute. Sorry. Like I said, just tinkering around, light work tonight. Lightweight. My good friend Ronnie Coleman says. Bobby will like that one. So today, over with Alan Rusty Hubcap. Went to Cleveland to visit Champ. Tomorrow, going to torment John Coffey. Steve, that sounds like an adventure, buddy. I'm a little jealous. I ain't seen those guys. We could see them all at Quad State this year. Actually get to go to Quad State this year, which would be nice. No, Lord willing, no roofs get ripped off any barns. Yeah, John, same thing. Like, never felt better. Like, I genuinely have just felt really good making, snacking on pork rinds and beef jerky. He said, "Yeah, buddy, lightweight." But yeah, snacking on pork rinds and beef jerky, which is something I already do anyways. I haven't really. Every once in a while, I kind of get that. I want a thing of ice cream or something. But other than that, as long as you're eating good, kind of salting your food good, it's kind of crazy once your body hits ketosis, where it starts processing fat um, for energy instead of using carbs so much. Your body starts to adjust, and it's kind of you're going to feel less energetic just because you don't have the carbs, that instant energy, but the long term energy, you kind of are able to work slower but longer. So like I said, it's been nice. I've been at it for almost a month. Working some like liver, some organ meat and stuff like that, cooking butter and bacon fat. I basically, like, in the morning, I'll cook my bacon, cook my eggs in the bacon grease. Whatever grease is left over, I'll usually cook. We'll just leave that in the pan and then cook, ground beef or whatever else is steak. So it just kind of cooks in its own fat. Maybe toss in a little butter as well. So it is nice. All right. See if we can't pry this guy open. A little bit rusty. Not the piece, me. I am a little bit rusty. All right, go back in the fire with you. I think this is a blank we have left over from. I haven't made any in a while, but we made a bunch for a year of camp. I had the kids come over because we couldn't do an activity we were supposed to do that day. So I was like, well, I'll just bring the kids over, and then we'll go down to the farm, and then Dad was going to make these split crosses and kind of just give a sermon. That'll be the night's message. So I think that's left over from that. Shh, don't talk about the weather. I think beer is carbs. Yes, unfortunately it is. Pork rinds and beef jerky. Thought you were on low salt. Yeah, so funny enough, I did the low salt thing for a minute. There was just slight concern with my blood pressure. And be honest with you, my blood pressure was a result of just being overweight. I was 290, pushing 300 pounds, which is not healthy. Um, so I saw my doctor. I went through the whole no salt, everything like that, and blood pressure. As soon as I lost 30 pounds of doing basically just salads every day, low salt. So then afterwards, I just kind of kept with eating normal food, not eating so high sodium stuff. Pre-processed meals and things like that were kind of the root cause, is what we kind of determined on it. So I just stuck away from not eating freezer meals and fast food every day. Blood pressure dropped right back down to pretty close to normal almost instantly. Now doing the carnivore diet, blood pressure stayed fine. Again, a little bit higher salt content, but nothing has been like an insane, absorbed an amount of sodium in it. So I haven't noticed any blood pressure issues since I've done this, and I've been at it for almost a month. Um, but again, continued weight loss. I haven't checked to see what my weight's down to, but I know I've lost weight. I can tell that I've trimmed up. So I know that was part of the problem and why my blood pressure was up so high. So really it was just losing weight. Stop being fat. That was advice to myself. Stop being fat. There he is. Boss man. Metal Band Sam, welcome in. I'm working on just random tinkering around. Right now working on just making a split cross. Probably do some texturing and stuff like that, make it look good, and then on to the next thing. Yeah, Bobby's got it. The key thing is just to stay in ketosis. Ketosis is going to work to burn that fat for energy, and then your salt content is not going to be as big of a problem. One, it helps keep you satiated, so that helps as a benefit of it. And then two, just with ketosis, your body's going to use that salt and burn that energy anyways. So trying to get that to shape up here. There you go. That's the starts of a split cross. Now I'll just kind of work with the fiddly bits, as Mr. Switzer would say. Like I said, I'm just being slow, taking my time. If you want to see a blacksmith in a hurry, I recommend you go find Thomas Goodyman. Polar opposite work. I would say timing or just energy. I take it slow. I like to do my thing. I like to just take my time, make it look good. I'm not saying Thomas doesn't take his time and make it look good, but Thomas is the Energizer Bunny on some type of substance. Dude moves and moves and moves and moves at a very fast pace and doesn't quit. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Oop. His dad so lovingly likes to point out, I don't move fast. Don't move fast. There we go. Prep torch. Let's just cook that rubber. There goes my good smell for the shop. I smell like burnt rubber. There you go. We'll split cross. I'll do some texture work on it real quick just to make it look pretty, and then that'll pretty much be the end of that. Smack that down just a wee bit. A little bit of adjusting, but that's pretty good. What's everybody else been working on as of late in the old blacksmith shop? If you got one. If you're not, what else you working on? $35, my metabolism went right to 0. Weight found a home. Yeah. Yeah, Roger's right. He's got 2 speeds, wide open and stop is only to sleep. That was pretty much it. Sam said it had me on his background music. Yeah, that's usually what we're good for. Us Roushers don't know how to shut up. You're not looking for professional blacksmithing. You're looking for people who know how to gab. Hello, Brian. Brian says hello. We're in New York, and Brian just stopped in at the bottom and said I had to stop in and say hello. While you're here, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted every single time we have new content right here on Bar Run Farm and Forge. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I don't even want to say TikTok and Rumble anymore. I haven't done anything on that in years at this point. But yeah, check out the website, www.barrunforge.com. That's BARRUNFORGE.com. Merch. Get yourself a t-shirt. Kenny Metal Man. Metal Man Kenny, welcome in. Getting ready for a craft show this Saturday. Hooks, bowls, and such. Judge. Nice. Thanks for the live. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Otherwise, it'd be really goofy for me just to stand in front of a camera and talk to nobody. I don't want to get it too deep down in the fire. That fire is roaring. Dad, it was kind of funny. Dad and I went to Michelle went to Arby's yesterday, and Dad's been kind of doing the same thing, a little less on the carnivore. I'd say closer to kind of like keto diet, but we both went to Arby's yesterday. One, because we went to Burger King and they didn't have Whoppers. Like, it's the same thing as going to Arby's and saying we don't have the meats. So that joke was played a lot yesterday. But anyways, we went to Arby's and both of us are doing basically like, no carbs, no bread or anything like that. Dad gets up and orders the brisket sandwich, no bun. I said, well, this is going to be funny. So then Michelle orders her stuff, and I walk up and I said, can I get the half-pound roast beef, no bun? And like, that cashier had to look at us and be like, are y'all weird? Like, yes. The answer is yes. All right. I'm just going to do some light hammer texturing on it. I'm going to pop that part in first just to do this on the side that doesn't have the cut marks from the old bandsaw. All right, like I said, just doing some light hammer texturing on it, nothing fancy. You know me, I'm not fancy. This plywood. Welcome in. Back to playing nursemaid. Yeah, they did have chicken. The only problem is the chicken has got a bunch of crap in it. So, like, it's being processed, so it's got just a bunch of stuff in it that's not necessary. So does the burger, but at least you know the burger is basically just ground beef, salt, pepper, and probably something else. But the chicken's got breading and everything, and I can't do breading, so it was either do that and, burger or find something else. We found something else. So we went to Arby's, and they had the meats. Give one little love tap here, just to kind of straighten it out, and then that's pretty much done. I'll say one. There we go. All right, nothing fancy. Well, I don't like how that one splayed out a little bit more. I got enough heat that I can fix that. See that? Does that look better? Yeah, it does. Hey! Get my old man glasses out. Explain. There you go. Simple split cross. So, get this. Just kind of knock that back in. And then coat it with some beeswax and be done. Nothing to it, really. Old John is John Norwood at Old Hickory Forge has been having a time going through all of his stuff. Been watching just his Instagram stuff. Just going through. Obviously feel bad for him. You know, he's been through a rough patch, but he's making the best of it, making the most out of things. He's finding stuff that was like his dad's, and just kind of going through and reminiscing. You know, so. Osage is getting low. Hint, hint. I know where you can find some. I know where you can find a whole log of it if you want it. Anywho, yeah. So I'm done with that. Now, I think I'm just gonna make a little tiny S hook for kicks and giggles of it. This is 1/4 inch, so I'll use these little guys, these little bolt jaw tongs. Yes, sir. That fire is cooked up well. It is hot, 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 hot. Is that none of your brand beeswax? No, I think that one came from Texas or something. Bees cheese. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Like I said, I know it's nothing fancy, nothing to get all worked up and excited about, but hanging out. You said start restoring a USMC machete, potato chip blade. I'm gonna put bar run Osage handle scale on it. That's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Wants me to make stuff for her. You've been in the blacksmith shop, make your own stuff. I'm just kidding. Why not? I'll give you a S hook, a shook. Jasmine, she forged a hairpin at the Ohio Valley Antique Machinery Show. And we kind of tag teamed a little bracelet for a little girl that was there. And Dad made a spork knife. Nothing to it, really. Oh, this you asked? This was made by my good friend Bobby at the Turtle Shed. Ooh, that might be an adventure. Let's let it get sparky. It's gonna be a really long S hook. Come on. There we go. Quarter inch loses heat quick. It's a neat little thing, Bobby. It is a neat thing. Love all the ideas, you know, see blacksmiths doing the whole need a tool, make a tool kind of thing. Saw Steve, Uncle Buck, if he's still in here, had an anvil design that I really liked. I had an idea for one kind of similar to it. And not that I'm trying to, you know, steal his intellectual property or anything, but I was like, man, I kind of want to make one of those now. I did that on the diagonal. What a goon. What a game. Yep, it's alright. Bindaroo jig. There you are. Go ahead and quench the tip just to keep it from burning up. And stick it back in the fire in the inferno. Got one, but it's in my treasure memory box, Bobby. Got a bunch of stuff. We started up in honor of our old buddy Frank, and we'll add a picture or a thing up there for Mike too, the guy that used to share the blacksmith shop with us that passed away recently. We're gonna do a thing up there on that big chunk of Osage, and then like everybody's drive hooks, tradesman hook or whatever you want to call it, that has been to the shop or sent us stuff. That's all going up over on that wall. So be cool, neat little tribute wall and other makers stuff wall basically. I don't know if I'm going to make this an S hook now. I think I might make it as a wall hook. On that, now it's got that diagonal, because I think if trying to do the bend, that thing is that's a little thick for the bend. I didn't cut off, it was a piece of scrap, so I didn't cut off a whole bunch of material for it. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, because then it would look kind of disproportionate. Yeah, I might make this into a wall hook now that I'm looking at it. I don't know, so many decisions. Nah, I'm making an S hook. I already said I'd make an S hook. This would be cool. Just need to be able to get a hold of it now. Just gotta remember to do the right thing with it, because it's on that diagonal. Probably not practical, because it would probably scratch up whatever you're holding, because it's got that angle in it, but still looks cool. Still looks cool. Woo, that fire is roaring. It also just keeps my need to do something going too, Bobby. Just like fidget spinners, when those are a thing. Blacksmith fidget spinner. Oh, now I got an idea. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Threw it right out of my hand. Getting too excited. Making S hooks. Made a nice little cold shut in it. That's fun. Ah, well. Where's Pops? He is currently in New York visiting our buddy Brian over at the Vineyard Farmhouse. He and Michelle are down there. Ooh, burned my fingernail off. So they're on a little mini vacay over the weekend. Next short now, the fidget spinner. I don't know. I kind of want to like figure it out on the plasma table or something like that. Alex Steele probably already has it like done out of Damascus, ripping off his idea or something like that. Whoa, Sparky Anderson. For all you baseball fans. I learned that stick it in coal dust trick from Bobby, so thank you, sir. Okay, I need to do curl this way. So, yeah. Put that right. So I remember which way I'm going. And follow the same side. That way. Yeah, I fully understand. Yeah, that fire's smoking. Smoky hot. I didn't get it quite right on the angle. It's alright. Not my best work, but not bad for an idiot in the shop that hadn't been here in a minute. Yeah, we got it. Not bad if I don't say so myself. If I do say so myself, I'd be lying. I don't know what I'm saying. At this point, I'm just jabbering. Like one of them howler monkeys. Trying to keep people entertained. Give y'all what you want. Are you not entertained? Good cave. Let that sit for a second and just slow cook, because otherwise it's going to burn up. Now just do 100 more. Yeah, I'll get on that. And then make 100 leaves. Do 100 leaves. Nobody's ever done that before. Make 100 of these. Before you ever start blacksmithing, make 100 of these. A little bit more heat around it, and then we'll be good. Woo! Alright, come on. Singe the nerves off my hands. Seeing my lovely face is entertainment enough. Yeah, that's true. You can take the lovely part out, but entertainment for sure. Hoo-ah! Come on! Heat's going away and time's a wasting. There we go. Try not to lose the angle, but knock it down just a smidge here. There's that goofy rawhide mallet. Do a little benderoo over the horn here. The same on that side, just to kind of even it up. Make it a little bit more closed. And we should be rocking and rolling. And S shook done. For my lovely girlfriend, who is real. It's tough just talking to a camera. Well, in my head, there's more people in here, but you know. My therapist tries to tell me otherwise. There you have it. An S shook. Ta-da! Beeswax. And call it done. Still a little warm. Be like Dad and just melt the whole thing of beeswax because he always puts it on while it's still red. Red freaking hot, and Dad's like, it's cool enough. We'll go ahead and put beeswax on it. Is he still in here? There we go. All right, project number 2 done. Recoat my split cross here. Just kind of get the excess off of it. Find a good spot for him. Just lay right down in between a couple tongs. Put those. Just put that anywhere. And then grab tongs for these guys. Cool. Do the handle first. And then we'll work on the roasting fork side of it after that. Always keep the workstation clean. That's good to hear, Kenny. Our next goal is to get to 10,000. We're sitting currently a little above 6,500. So the next goal is to get about get to 10,000. So we got 3,500 and less, a little less than 3,500 to go. But that is the goal. Probably would help if we put out more content, but we'll get there. We will get there. All right, I'm gonna do a taper in on this side. Couldn't tell if that was a mishit or a dent. I think it was just a scrape. Or I meant a scrape across. It's not dented. It's just like there's a clean spot. I was making sure I didn't accidentally just smack the crap out of the hammer into that. Would not be good. Is it Mark Asbury was showing on his hammer? He had used that same hammer so much that this side had just a slight amount of mushroom into it on this part. I was like, that's interesting because like you're always worried about that side of your hammer. The side that corner would catch the most. It's interesting. I just found it interesting. Timothy Dick was even talking about that. Our favorite little Canadian blacksmith. Not our favorite Canadian blacksmith. Our favorite little Canadian blacksmith. Little chipper guy. Was showing on his titanium hammer that he's done so much work that it's starting to have a little mushroom on it. I'm like, wow, titanium does that. It's crazy. square, octagonish, roundish. Or just take down the high spots. Just take down the high spots. We don't. The only problem is I argue with myself. That's fine. How often do you lose the argument? Half the time. Well, there you go. Math's up. Math's up. All right. We're not going to do it on the corner this time. I had to check myself because I was like, wait a second, did I do it again? There you go. Curly cue. Ta-da! And I'll just do the same thing here with the little benderooski on the jig there. Round, flat, then really flat because you get mad. Still warm. The cross is probably ready. There you go. Simple little split cross. All nice and cooled down now. I love that people find that fascinating. Like when we were at the Antique Machinery Show 2 weekends ago, people just found it so interesting that like that creates what it creates. They kind of just forget sometimes, you know, the amazement of blacksmithing. The people who still find it fascinating. Come on. Don't get me wrong, I still find it fascinating. But sometimes you just kind of lose that sense of wonder and awe, you know, the childlike part of it. Did I hear a donation or something? I heard some type of beep or buzz. What do we get? Or am I just losing my mind? Did something happen? Did I miss it? Oh, somebody subscribed. Cool. How about that? Got a subscriber just from me being a goof. Cross made from 1/2 inch stock. I think that was 3/8. Yeah, because that was the same size as this. 3/8 stock. I'm going to do a little backwards bend here. And we'll try to close it up a little bit. There you go. Kind of the start there. I'll bring that back in and just kind of curl it in a little bit. A little wonky. Straighten it up a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. Remind yourself of how it so fascinates you. You know, and that brings a point. Hopefully, this doesn't turn people off. If it does, sorry, I don't care. But that was something I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about Christians who were born into it versus those who find their faith either later, kind of later in life or whatever, and that some of us who are Christians basically our whole lives, like I grew up in church. My dad's always been a preacher, a youth minister, or involved in ministry somehow or another. Like when the church doors were open, we were there. So like I never missed that. And granted, at a young age, I knew, okay, I want to follow Jesus. I want to commit my life to Jesus. And that was exciting. But then as you get older, you kind of just have always known it, and it's routine and it's habit, and it's hard to get yourself out of that as a habit and still remind yourself that it's you still love Jesus. Jesus was a person or is a person. You still love him. You still find that fascination and awe in your faith. It's a good reminder. See if I can't get that to dip a little bit. There we go. I'll finish that point here in a second. Clean that up just a smidge. Good enough for government work. But yeah, what I was saying was I was always jealous, and still am to some extent, of like new Christians. When guys and gals come to faith, and they're always got that just fire and excited. Like, man, I'm jealous because like it's harder for me to find that, having been a Christian all my life versus kind of having a past life and then finding Jesus. So it's always that kind of constant struggle, and it's not something I don't think you can kind of force on yourself. You have to, I hate to say it, fake it till you make it, but you kind of have to just, in those moments when you don't feel it, you just got to fake it until it comes back. Sorry, I didn't go off on a little sermon there, but I follow Jesus. I ain't ashamed to tell anybody. Get my twisting wrench out and get my S-hook out of the way. I'll put a little fancy twist in it, just because twist makes things fancy. Exactly, Roger. Just finding that, refining your zeal, your passion, your sense of wonder and awe. I think that's the same thing, in your blacksmithing. Like every once in a while, you kind of get burned out. You walk in the shop, like, man, I don't want to do anything. Especially if you got to do like production stuff, like when we get ready for shows and stuff. There's sometimes like, man, I don't want to go through 80 of these blanks and just texture them, But they sell. That they're going to sell. The middle-aged white women that are walking around at a festival are going to buy those all day, every day, man. Ornaments, textured ornaments, stuff like that, don't sell all day. So it's the thing. I hate to sound like Dad, and Dad's going to love this. Things you have to do to get to the things you want to do. That still needs a little more heat. Kind of kept it up there. Avoid burning it, or Dad burning it. Sunburn. Shun burn it. Shine your light. Yeah, that was one of Dad's points in the sermon this past week was let your light shine. Don't hide your light, like the old children's song. I'm going to let it shine. All right, going to the vise. I'm going to put a little baby twist in it. Nothing too fancy. Do that a little bit farther down. Nothing to it, really. That'll work. A little brush off. We'll work on the roasting fork part next. If I can get the thing to unlock. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. Don't worry, I wasn't hitting my twist. I was just kind of realigning it there. All right. Yeah, Dad, see, even when I'm away, I still listen to your sermons and turn them into reels. You're welcome. Keep thinking something's out there. The wind is picking up some of these weeds, just tossing them around. I'm like, what's going on out there? Easy distraction. Oh no, he's sounding like that. Yeah. Chip off the old block. It's really cool, Eric. Ooh. Kenny always likes to hit in with the hard topics. But it's good. They are good. Derek Melton, if you don't follow him on Facebook, he always likes to find kind of some of those harder hitting topics and post on there. And they always open a conversation. And I love it because I get to deal with internet trolls and throw facts at them, even though I know they're not going to listen. But it is fun to deal with internet trolls and try to expose them for their bad logic. But to Kenny's point, oh no, don't apologize for it. No, I fully enjoy it. I'm a big fan of, it's not necessarily apologetics, but I love apologetics and defending the faith and studying that and researching that. So not at all. Let me put this in the fire to let it get warmed up, and then we'll talk about it. I guess, I don't know. What about resenting your light because people want to suck you in? That's a sermon I need to hear. I mean, it's never fun. It's not a fun challenge. There's a squirrel out there. I agreed. And Kyle just threw a squirrel up on the screen for me. Appreciate that. It's never a fun challenge when you're around people that are, like you said, sucking your light out from you and don't want to hear it, don't want to be around it, whatever. We find that in the blacksmithing community that there's a lot of people who don't share the same ideas of faith as we do. There's, I'd say just as many atheists, if not more, or people who kind of go into the whole like old religion, Nordic kind of stuff, or even Satanism or whatever. And, taking all that aside, you're going to be around people regardless, unless you just, live in a Christian commune. Like, you're going to always be around those people, especially people who want to, again, take your light. I'd have to go through and start digging in the Bible, and forgive me for not knowing the Bible well enough to name the verses, but it's talked about in the Bible that you're going to have to, be the light, be the shining light, the city on the hill. We know as Christians it's not easy being a Christian, especially in a world that is designed to almost hate us. To Derek's point, it was, why do atheists and other religions, but mainly atheists, why do they come after Christianity pretty much and despise Christianity more than most of the other world religions? And one, it's a large target. And I think the second part is Christians tend to be kind of lax. You've got people who claim to be Christians but haven't been to a church building in 3 years. The church doesn't make you a Christian, but having a parachute or not having a parachute falling out of a plane isn't a necessity, but at the same time, it's going to help. So you've got people who are, you can use the term false Christians or lukewarm Christians that give Christianity a bad rep, and people who, frankly, in America, we're lazy. We're lazy Christians. I've got 5 to 8 Bibles probably in my possession, and I open one of them up on occasion, but at the same time, there are people in China that get a falling apart Bible that's either been burned or, just is gritty and nasty and everything, and they treasure that more than they treasure their own life. And, that's convicting as an American Christian that we're lazy. We're comfortable. We don't have to worry about that. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are making good points. Yeah, and go listen to Dad's sermon last week. I mean, it's kind of spot on for that part. Is city on a hill cannot be hidden, letting your light shine. Roger said, Christ told us also to not cast your pearls before swine, so we have to listen and discern the Spirit. Absolutely, and that comes from being in the Word. Spend time in the Word. Spend time with Jesus. Spend time in prayer, with the fellowship, breaking your bread into prayer. That's what the apostles did. That's what we should do. Draws like mosquitoes. I think I have enough blood for everyone, but it's tiring. Yeah, absolutely. I think the redeeming part of that is, on the day of our passing, God forbid it's anytime soon, but on the day of our passing, you want to hear that phrase, "Well done, good and faithful servant, enter into your master's, kingdom and enjoy spending eternity with God." There you go. There's my sermon for the night. I do always find it funny because obviously pretty much everybody in here knows Dad's a preacher. And I've always heard people, when are you going to be a preacher? How come you're not a preacher? That kind of thing. I've never felt that call to say, like, you should be in full-time ministry. Now, later on in life, tomorrow, who knows? God may be like, hey, come on, you're going to be a preacher. But never gotten that, just kind of real, this is what God wants from me. But again, you don't have to be a full-time minister to preach the gospel. We're all called to do that. We are all called to do that. Preach the good news, and if necessary, use words. See, Dad, I do pay attention to your sermon. It's one of Dad's phrases, if you hadn't caught on. Yeah, I think another part of that, too, is surround yourself with believers as well. Be around people of like faith. Be around Christians. Be around people that are going to fill you up, spiritually speaking. Because when you go out into the world, not everybody is like that. Like, we started a Bible study on a book called Wild at Heart, mainly for guys, but highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend that book. Long story short about the book, basically talks about reclaiming the heart, the masculine heart of the Christian male. Not Christian Bale, Christian male. Man. XY chromosome. That's probably going to get me off YouTube. I don't care. But highly recommend that book. If you can get in with a group of guys and do a Bible study on it, do it. Just take a way big old chunk out of that piece. It's a good thing about blacksmithing. You can fix it. All right. Yeah, I took a good miss hit on that. You can see where it kind of goofed up a little bit. I might be able to just work a little material back and flatten that out a little bit. So not Batman. I'm Batman. I'm vengeance. What a stupid line. I'm vengeance. Kenny, couldn't put it up. Simple enough, man. All I know is I suck and God forgave me. That's the whole point. That's all you need. That's all you need, man. That is all you need. I'm going on it again. I think that's one thing we as Christians try to do sometimes is overcomplicate the gospel. It's a simple gospel. We suck. We need Jesus. Jesus died for our sins. Extend that to other people. Go and tell other people about it. It was a good book I read, and by read I mean listen to the audio book because I don't read. But good book I read. I love the Duck Dynasty guys. Willie, the kind of the main guy other than Phil in Duck Dynasty, wrote a book called Gospeller, and the definition is basically like one who proclaims the gospel. A gospeller is somebody who proclaims the gospel. Basically, goes through and talks about all the different people in the Bible who became people who preach the gospel. He talks about people in his own personal life. Talks about different stories, and does a really good job. Again, it's a simple read. It's a really short read, and it's very simple. I hate to be that way, but like it's good old Southern talk. So they're just Jesus loves me, Jesus loves you. Come on in. Like that's as simple as it is, and breaking it down. And I love the fact we kind of get so wrapped up sometimes in like, oh, we got to learn the theology of this and the backstory behind this and the history of this, and that's all well and good. But again, the gospel is a simple message. It's we suck. Like Kenny said, we suck. Jesus died for our sins, and we get to live with him if we accept him as our Savior. There you go. There's the gospel. Easy enough. All you got to do is tell people. All you got to do is tell people that. Ow. That was hot. Boy, this thing is wanting to twist and turn on me like none other. Oh, cool. Nice little cold shut because of it. Working the fiddly bits. Darn fiddly bits. Bar Run Forge Tea. My gift to them. Mm. Oh, all I know is I suck and God forgave me. Dude, that would be a fun t-shirt. I've wanted to do, like, just make fun t-shirts like that. Like, if I had a good route of, like, selling those and making it in, having it where it is, actually be profitable and make it work, not saying like we're not profitable or whatever. We don't really care on the t-shirt sales. We just, like having our t-shirts out there. If you guys want to wear it and support us, like, we're not making buku bucks off of these t-shirts. Basically, any money we make off t-shirts goes back to buying more t-shirts. But I would love to be able to do that, like those kind of sayings, and just be like, throw it on a t-shirt, man. That'd be great. Hate the Saturday versus Sunday argument. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, same thing. It, it's definitely a debatable topic, but at the end of the day, like, on the seventh day, God rested. However you see that on the calendar, whatever works. But as long as you have a day of worship, a day of rest. Again, spending time with God's people, devoting yourselves to apostles' teaching, breaking your bread into prayer. I think it'll be all right. Yep, that shattered like a piece of glass. Crumbled up. All right, I'm going to use the snip real quick. Hold your ears if you're sensitive to loud sounds. About to be loud, just fair warning. Come on. All right. I didn't like to come off, so I'm going to have to use a pair of pliers or something to get them off here. Come on, you. All right, let's try to clean up that end, and then I'll kind of round it over and go from there. It's going to be a really tiny roasting fork, but it's fine. Whatever. Troy, Deep Creek Ironworks. Welcome in, brother. I believe we're somewhere is a Troy. Another Troy. No, he's not listening anymore. He's hanging out with Brian at the Vineyard Farmhouse up in New York. So that's cool. Hey, this is going to work out perfectly. I just remembered I have a spatula handle that's kind of short. This is going to go perfect. That's going to it's similar enough to the set. Maybe a little bit different, but make it like a little set. I don't know. Somebody will buy it. All right, I'm going to try to clean up that end there. Move on to the other side. Round these over a little bit. You guys ever have questions or ever want to get into deep theological discussion? Dad's usually available. Phone number is on the website. It's on the YouTubes. What am I working on tonight? Working on a little tiny roasting fork. So, a little short-handled roasting fork. I'm just tinkering around. Nothing to it, really. A roasting fork. Time we got? 7:49? Oh, I'm going to definitely run past 8 o'clock. That's all right. I got nothing to do. Parents are away. The kingdom is mine for the weekend. I'll do what I want. Anywho, yeah, Dad and Michelle are up in New York, having a little mini vacay. I'm in charge of the homestead for the week, so gotta take care of the dog. I will have to leave at some point to go take care of the dogs, and probably get a little bit of dinner in me, but you know, minor things. Oop. Yeah, that one. Back in practice, I'm moving steel a little bit better now. Yeah, I was thinking it's kind of funny. We had that one episode, one live stream. Dad was making Carl impersonations, and we saw like one of the highest level of people come into a live stream one time. I was like, of course, he's making Carl impressions, and that's when we have big chat. Hey, Bearfort. I was like, it'd be nice to be going on a Jesus rant on here, and then have 30 people show up. Something a little bit more substantive, not Dad making goofy jokes or us being idiots, which we are idiots. I'm hearing, hey-oh, Kenny, thank you so much, buddy. Much appreciated. You put to good use. If you guys are so inclined, like our good friend Kenny up there, you can do super chats on the channel. You can also go down to Streamlabs tips. That is an option as well. Anything you donate is much appreciated. Can't promise it's going to a good cause, but it'll be here. It keeps what we do going. If you guys enjoy it. How close are we there? About dead even. I'm going to round up these corners. All right. So there you go. Got the T there. So next part is we'll take it and bend the forks up. Cheap therapy. Hey, that's all right. Wondering when the collection plate was coming around. Yeah. We'll have communion here afterwards. We have a time of offering and time of communion come up after the message. Bust out a hymnal and lead our hearts in worship. Dad'd probably do that. I'm not as bold. Singing a communion. Communion is all carb. Except transfiguration. It's the flesh. Put that in your theology and smoke it. Still on the carnivore diet. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, then we'll have a potluck supper afterwards. Make sure you bring your crock pot casserole dish. like all good churches in Midwest and South. When we meet, we eat, we say. Usually how it goes. Not bad for a rookie. I might trim them up a little bit, smooth them down with the angle grinder, but for the most part. I had that one miss hit, kind of gave it a little wonky look, but it'll still cook squirrel on it. Still cooking. All right, there you go. There is a, I guess you call it tiny roasting fork, kind of squirrel cooker-esque size. So I found one that I started way back when. I think it was at a demo or show or something. So little spatula. Like I said, it's a little bit different handle style, but about the same size. So might be a little set. Have a little spatula, a little roasting fork. Who knows? I don't. I do know one thing though. I'm starting to feel a little hungry, and I'm sure the dogs need to go out. So I believe that is all. And I'm going to avoid doing any knees because I got a bad knee. Not a dad knee, but a bad knee. One of these days, when I can get back up there, we'll have a sun knee. Sunny? Yeah, anyway. Cool. Well, and it's about right on time. Look at there. Looky there. Beautiful. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and just me tonight. It was a pleasure as always. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys give to us each and every live stream and video and all that kind of stuff. We've been at it for 6 years, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So I know some of you guys have been here since the beginning and coming along the way. So kind of cool thing just to see and be a part of. And it just keeps getting better. So as always, if you guys need anything, reach out to us. We'll do our best. If not, we'll find somebody who can. Whatever. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok and Rumble. Here on YouTube, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are not, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted anytime we got new content. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and no, I already said that. Anyways, website www.barrunforge.com, BARRUNFORGE.com. I'm going to lose my mind, go grab some food, and who knows? Maybe I'll come back in the shop. Feeling wild. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.